Yeah, Aiden.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. This is episode, I believe, 6. I can't even tell at this point. Season 2. The gang's all here. We got Jake. What's up, Jake?
What's good, Chase?
Not much, man. Just living life. And then Brady is back after being as sick as a dog.
Yeah,
he's back on the camera.
Yep. I'm here. It's good to be back.
He is
sad,
not
sad
dead.
I had to miss the episode earlier in the week, but glad we had 2 this week to be able to, at least get in one this week.
Yep, we had to dock your pay. Sorry to cover this. Had to dock your pay a little bit. Like we get paid in this. But gang's all here. Thursday night, football's on tonight. World Series got wrapped up on Tuesday. The Braves, good win for them. Good for the city of Atlanta. Not blowing any leads, but still, for overall.
Somehow.
Yep. Jake, what'd you take away from the World Series on just this whole series? I know you kept an eye on that the whole time, but what'd you take away?
I was so happy to see that. Just being completely honest with you, being an Indians fan, seeing how much pain the Astros have put us through, just to see them get single-handedly just beat down to win the championship, and seeing Freddie Freeman getting the ring he deserves. By far deserves.
I saw that story on the ESPN special on him, and man, I looked through that whole thing. I was like, that's a tough journey right there. And just the way he is as a player, he's an easy guy to root for.
For sure.
All right. Yep. And then we got Thursday night football tonight. Jets Colts. That starts at 8:20. I'll probably be doing other stuff, but I'll watch that game when I can. But yeah, Saturday is ahead of us. Ohio State is back on the road. They play, I believe, big noon kickoff against Nebraska. Brady, take the floor. What are your initial thoughts on this game?
All right, so Nebraska, obviously they don't have they're not like that, they're not like an elite team is what the word I'm looking for, but they're also not a bad team at all. They've kept every single game they've played close. Not a single time have they got blown out. They should have beat Oklahoma, and if it weren't for an insane pick that one DB had on Oklahoma, they should have beat Michigan State, but Martinez threw a pick at the end of the game. They should have beat Michigan, but Martinez fumbled. And then I'm pretty sure Martinez threw a pick to lose the other 2 games too.
So this Martinez dude is literally wow.
He's a 4th-year starter. Started as a freshman, and
I could have swore I remembered that name, but wow.
Adrian Martinez, yeah.
Jeez.
But overall, Nebraska, probably one of the top 5 team we faced this year. I'd say they're a lot better than Indiana, Maryland. But I think as long as we don't do anything stupid, let trick plays fool us, because I think they might come out a little tricky against us. I can see Scott Frost doing that. Nothing to lose. As long as if we keep everything in front of us, our offense will do what they do. We should be able to win this game, but it's a tough game. One of their starting DBs actually transferred from Ohio State this offseason, Tyreek Johnson, former 5-star safety in the 2018 class. But he used to go viral in practice. Olave would toast him, and it would always be him guarding him. So
wrong reason.
Hopefully they put him on Chris Olave. So I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I would say if Johnson knows a history with Chris Olave, I think it's best to take off from that,
Yeah.
So Jake, I mean, this is the stretch where we have to win games to make a name for ourselves in the playoffs. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, kind of what he said, that just got to go out and get it done at the end of the day. If we can go out and get it done, and we just need to win the games that we have to win, basically. I'm kind of rambling. I'm trying to pre-order the new COD tonight. So
you got to get on that, man. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I don't mind.
But yeah, pretty much what I'm just trying to say. They just got to win the games they're supposed to win at this point. So
yeah, don't cause any more stress than needed. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, we're outside of top 4 and stuff like that. There's no need to panic right now, but still don't give us any more reasons to potentially, be second guessing ourselves and stuff as fans. Ohio State knows what they need to do. They know the blueprint, how to get the job done and all that stuff. They've been able to do it, running the ball and passing the ball really well. Looking at CJ Stroud's stats for the year, 147 to 219, 2,270 yards, 23 touchdowns to 3 interceptions this season. That's an 8-to-1 touchdown interception ratio almost. Yeah. And then Travion Henderson averaging near 8 yards a carry. 107 carries for 845 and 12 touchdowns.
3 receiving touchdowns too, I think.
That's true. So I believe so. I think he has 15 total on the season. A couple of those games, they kind of had him bottle up and everything to start, but then as the game went on.
This last week they had him bottle up, and I was getting worried. I'm like, wow, this never happens. And then he found a crease one time, and he ran for 68 yards and almost beat a safety that had a 20-yard start on him to the end zone.
And I think the same thing happened against Maryland when we were both there.
Yeah.
He kind of started off slow. Then CJ Stroud in his first game back really got in the rhythm. So I think it was second game back, I believe. But still,
it was his first home game back.
First home game back. Yep. He really got in the rhythm. So that's the thing. Ohio State can beat you in both the air and on the ground. They can beat you badly doing both things. So that's a good thing to look at. And then Garrett Wilson is the leading receiver. Obviously, you have so many other guys like Chris Olave. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. The whole depth thing. Those are the 3 guys that they normally play on. And then Rucker, tight end and all that. And Garrett Wilson stats: 43 catches, 687, and 6 touchdowns. So Ohio State, they've been lighting up the stat sheet, lighting up the scoreboard, have that one loss on their resume, but I don't think that loss should have them at number 5 over number 4, Oregon. But that's a story for another time. And then looking at Nebraska, they are 3-6. Won't let the record fool itself. They have played in a lot of close games this season. Martinez, 150 at 240, 2,264 yards. He's actually played, I believe, in 2 more games than CJ Stroud, and CJ Stroud has 6 more passing yards.
Yeah.
So look at those numbers. But Martinez does it as a runner too. He has 12 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. Martinez on the ground, 106 carries, 451 yards, 11 touchdown runs. 11. He has almost matched Travion Henderson. So he's got 23 total touchdowns for the year.
Has Nebraska lost by double digits yet?
We can get a check on that real quick.
Okay.
As Samori Torre, I believe is his name, senior from Portland, 29 catches, 568 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Looking at their scheduled, they lost to Illinois by 8. I'm looking at all their losses. All right. Lost to Illinois by 8. They lost to Oklahoma by 7, lost to Michigan State by 3 in overtime. They lost to Michigan by 3 and lost to Purdue by 5. So they haven't lost the game by more than a touchdown. By more than a touchdown. Yeah, so they've played a lot of one-score games and just hasn't gone in their favor.
So you really just want to beat them. If we beat them by 2 scores, that's great.
Hell, they're 3 one-score games away from being a 3-6 to flipping that record to 6-3. So they're pretty close to being a pretty good football. You're being a pretty good football.
This is going to sound dumb. Obviously, some won't go their way, but they could be 9-0.
They could. Looking at points-wise, points-wise, they definitely could be.
They really could be.
The top teams to
all those were legitimately close too. They had the ball, chance to win every single last one of those games.
Exactly.
So beat them by 2 TDs, I'm happy.
Yeah, this is not a game to take lightly, but yes, this should be a 2-touchdown win game at least, and I think we'll be sitting in a nice spot. Yeah. I'll kind of move along a little bit. Not really a whole lot of highlight games this week, I would say. I will say the Auburn-Texas A&M matchup, 13 versus 14, is one to take a look at.
It's intriguing.
It's
intriguing for sure.
It is intriguing. Yes, that's it's Kyle. Kyle Field, CBS at 3:30. So we have Bo Nix who I know how you feel about Bo Nix, Brady. I think we talked about this a little bit, Jake, too, one time.
I think we did.
Yes, I think we
I
talked
know
about
for
it
sure me and Brady talked about it. I know that.
We did.
I believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember it for sure.
But
I think that's when you were lagging off that one night.
I believe so.
Yeah, that was that night.
Yeah. What was your guys' stance on Bo Nix anyway? Like, what do you guys like? Has it changed a little bit or just like the same?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say it most mid quarterback in college football.
Yep, I believe I remember hearing
most mid quarterback. He could be really good. He could be really good.
He could be.
But, yeah, I think he's a high potential. But as of right now, no. I think he's just a pretty big quarterback. He's not bad by any means, but he's not like a superstar. Do you see like Stroud or any of those guys? Ole Miss quarterbacks or Alabama's quarterback.
Right. Yeah, Bo Nix. I like that term. Like I really think he's like the most mid quarterback. I mean,
he's like the prime meridian of quarterbacks in college football. And there's a lot of quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah.
He's good. Like, so he'll have a horrible game one week. He'll throw 3 picks. They want him benched. And they will bench him. And then he'll come back. He'll be the starter next week. And he'll make some play where he breaks 6 tackles in the backfield, runs to the sideline, and throws it deep for a touchdown. It's so weird how, like, he'll have one horrible game. And then he comes back. He throws for 303 TDs. So, like, exactly. Like, he literally is right there. Like, you don't know how he's going to be. So, like, I think Bo Nix.
Just mid.
Yeah. So, like, they could lose to Texas A&M and he could play awful, or they could beat him by 2 touchdowns and he'll have an amazing game. And people will be talking about him for the Heisman. You just never know.
The talk will never stop when it comes to Bo Nix one way or another, I think is what the jury is out for. Interesting note, I just got a note that Nebraska's 6 losses are by a total of 33 points combined.
Jeez. So they really
haven't. Really about 5 points a game or so. Got that word from a word upstairs. But yes, going back to the Auburn game, Bo Nix's stats for the year: 150 at 241, 1,764 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. Touchdown interception ratio is not bad, but still that is mid-level numbers right there. That's barely 200 yards a game. Not like their run game is spectacular. Their running back is averaging around 80-something yards a game, but he's not doing anything to really elevate his team over the top.
Right.
He can do a lot of things to take this team back down to earth, but nothing a whole lot to take them over the top and push them into contention. So, but yeah, that's really what it is from Bo Nix. Texas A&M. What is the look at them? Obviously, I think they were preseason ranked. Were they preseason ranked number 5, I believe? Correct. They were
overrated.
They were overrated, very high. And then they fall down. They fall out of the top 25, I believe. And then you have Alabama night.
If you told me they would beat Bama, I would have told you that they're a guaranteed playoff team. Like, I would have just assumed that the hype was real and like this was finally their year. And sure, they might lose another game, but I'm easy playoffs as long as you beat Bama because you'll make the conference championship. But they almost lost to Colorado, who Minnesota beat by 30-0. Minnesota is ranked now. That's a ranked one. They're a pretty good team. Only 2 losses. Both teams that they lost to are from Ohio. One of them was hot garbage, Bowling Green, but that was a fluke game. But A&M, they can play really good. Their defense is definitely good. Their quarterback, he's okay. He played pretty good against Alabama, but he throws some stupid picks. Zach Calzada.
Look at that. Look at the numbers. 115 at 208. 1,364 yards, 12 touchdowns with 7 picks. I do see where the stupid picks come into play because he's not even a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. So
yeah, you look at CJ Stroud and him, and CJ Stroud is throwing 1 or 2 stupid picks. Or actually, his picks are almost not even stupid. His picks are mostly missed throws. I feel like his 3 picks.
Some bad misses, but
yeah, like week 1. I mean, I will say it's pouring rain, but Olave was almost wide open throughout the middle. And he threw it right behind him and got picked. And then against Oregon, he kind of had Olave at the end. He kind of floated over his head. And then against Tulsa, he waited way too long to throw it to Rucker. He was open in the middle, but he waited till he was at the sideline and threw it where the DB was kind of standing. So
yeah, that ball floated like a paper airplane that just took flight and did not come down. It actually was a good one. But yes, Calzada, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, in college football, when you're less than 2-1, honestly, like I said before, I think in the episode, you got to be 3-1 if you're considered a quarterback that's going to go to the pros and stuff like that, and have other numbers and other qualities that that most people.
Does that mean Cade McNamara is going to the pros? I'm just playing.
I have no idea. I mean, someone might pick him up. Who knows? Like,
I was just messing with you.
Okay, we'll save the Michigan slander. Well, Michigan slander's allowed anytime. Honestly,
it's allowed. Yeah,
it's allowed.
Anytime.
We're gonna save it. We're gonna save like a ton of it for that weekend. But that weekend.
Can I say one thing about Cade McNamara's interception to lose the game?
Go on ahead.
So this was his best game by far of his career in terms of like numbers and stuff. But this interception. It was a great pick by Michigan State. This man lofts this ball. His arm strength needs to get better. This man lofts this ball towards right where where 2 DBs are standing. Instead of throwing it into the gap like a line drive type of throw, he literally just lofts it and it gets picked. That was terrible.
Good question.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up with why they play 2 quarterback system?
Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why don't you just?
I kind of caught that. I was like, I watched a little bit of the game. I was like, McNamara's having a pretty good game. Why is was it McCaffrey was in there?
McCarthy, JJ
McCarthy. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, why are they doing this 2 quarterback system when McNamara's having a career game? I understand. They were understanding we know today McNamara is going to have his basically one of the best games of his career. But the fact that they had him in a groove and everything, and then they would take it out, a couple of times too. That is
put in McCarthy, and McCarthy just he didn't have a very good game. I mean, he had a nice one night. He had a touchdown pass, but he was fumbling.
Yeah, but if you see your quarterback's having a good night,
keep him in there.
And then keep him in there. If you did that, if it was your original plan, to have that guy go in for a drive, see what he's got. If you had that 2 quarterback system in your mind, and if he has a first bad drive, get him out of there. Let the guy ride it out. Let him ride the confidence out. Seriously, but
I think part of it is because JJ McCarthy is almost definitely going to be their starting quarterback next year over McNamara because he was the number 16 player. He's a 5-star, one of the top.
I understand. That makes more sense now. You want to. Get basically he's your future. So I mean, you want to get him in there for the next future.
I'm not completely sold on him yet because every time they have him run a lot, and every big throw he's made has been where he kind of fakes a run and then drops back and throws a one-on-one deep ball. And it's great job, nice ball, but you haven't really read a defense yet. So I don't know. I'd play McNamara the rest of the year.
I'd agree. Just let him have his time. Let him sit, let him watch the game, let him have his time. He'll get that stuff in practice, some reps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Michigan's going to be all right when it comes to the quarterback. I honestly think.
People are saying that this is Michigan's year if they're ever going to have one to beat Ohio State. First of all, you're not going to have one. Second of all, no, it's not.
Bold.
They're saying we need to start McCarthy because it'll help us beat Ohio State. But no, it won't. Just play McNamara. McCarthy can't guard Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. That's the problem with this. We have the best receiving core we've ever had and a really good quarterback and one of the fastest running backs we ever had. And that's not going to work for them. They're not beating us this year. They have no shot. I'm calling it out. They're not beating us. They have a decent defense, but they play it way too aggressive. But they play a really aggressive style of defense. Mm-hmm. And they expect to be able to contain Travion. I think Travion Henderson's going to break some big runs that game. And I think that once he does, play action pass, Olave, right across the middle, dump over the safety's head. He's in the end zone.
I hope we come back to this episode and this is literally a gem in the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast history. That would be very nice.
Dude,
there's a legit possibility it could be.
If Travion Henderson doesn't score, he's going to score a 71-yard touchdown on this.
Okay, we're in the first drive.
First drive of the game. The first drive. The
drive is going to be maybe 2 or 3 plays.
It's going to be okay. So we're going to get at the 25. It's going to be a touchback. We're getting the ball first.
Okay.
And what's going to happen is so the first play, 4-yard, like we're going to throw a screen or something that we shouldn't do to Olave, and he's going to get like 4 yards. It's like, okay.
He's predicting this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to get 4 yards. And then second play, we're going to hand it off. Henderson's going to like go left, and then they're going to like over pursue, and he's going to go right upfield. Touchdown.
All right, we're gonna make sure that we remember that. We're gonna especially remember that. And I'm gonna screen record this afterwards, so don't worry about that.
Yeah,
we have a lot of talk about that in the next couple of weeks. But
sorry for getting off, but I had to say
I really don't care. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And then I think this is probably the last of college football talk we're gonna have today. The game that Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit are calling LSU Bama. Thoughts on that? What's up with LSU?
LSU? Oh, they suck.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jake. You can go.
But I was talking about with Evan one a couple weeks ago. LSU, Auburn, two of the most hot and cold teams in college football history.
Oh yeah.
Definition of we're gonna have our year 1 year and then we're gonna suck for 4 or 5 years.
They just
predict 2 years and then we'll have our year again.
Yeah, you're right.
It's never consistently good. They're never consistently good. They never have been consistently good. They have their years and then they're out. I mean, I would love to see LSU and Bama their second loss of the year. Do I think it's gonna happen?
No. But obviously for me, I'll always be partial LSU fan at heart. All right, you already know. You know the whole thing. But like, I think that's even crazy.
They're welcome. They're very welcome. I'm just gonna say that. They're very welcome.
I can't really argue one way or another. But yes,
that's their history.
But looking, it looks as though that a guy like Jamar Chase was even knew about that. That we had our year. Now I'm going to opt out of the COVID year. I mean, obviously, there's obviously so many other things, but if we're looking at that, is there anyone that was going to get in the ball last year for LSU?
I mean,
decently, like
not really. I mean, not as good as Joe Burrow did, obviously, but like,
yeah.
I mean, he would have had his chances, but
that's true.
But he wouldn't have. I don't think he would have had the year he had in 2019, and it would have only hurt his draft stock. He would have gone.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, because he didn't want to take that. Didn't want to take that risk from that. From that standpoint and all that. And looking at the quarterback this year, Max Johnson, his numbers actually aren't that bad. They're like numbers wise, they're not that bad.
He beat Florida last year and kicked them out of the playoff race.
I do remember that. I do remember that game because I think Florida got like some 15-yard penalty or something like that. Like when they
threw the shoe.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it was. Yep.
Marco Wilson.
And that's good old Florida for you. But yeah, Max Johnson, 162 at 264, 2,009 yards. That was a good year. 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So he's honestly not playing too bad. He's playing some good football.
4-1.
Yeah, if LSU was like, if they were a top 10 team, this dude could maybe be a Heisman candidate. I don't know.
He lost his top weapon though. The best 3 players on LSU's team are out for the season. With wide receiver Kaishan Bhute. I've seen people say that he's the best wide receiver in the nation. I don't agree with that, but I think
9 touchdown catches this year.
Yeah, and he's been out for a couple weeks, so he's really good. He's a really good receiver. He had a game last year. He was a true freshman with 300 receiving yards. He's a big play receiver.
For any guy, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's a beast. He really is a beast. He's one of the best receivers in the country. Wow. And then their 2 future first round corners, Derek Stingley and Elias Ricks, are both out for the season.
Derek Stingley, as LSU's a hot cold.
He's disappointed.
Yes, he's disappointed, and he's very hot cold. He was hot 2019, cold the last 2. But
yeah, he was. Like, I feel like every time they went in 2019, he was locked down for a freshman. I mean, you could see. Yeah. I mean, I had LSU fans trying to tell me that he was better than Jeff Okudah that year, which just wasn't close to being true. Like, everyone, the consensus was that Jeff Okudah was the best DB in the country. There was no denying that. Oh, and I said no, he's not. I said he might not even be better than him in the future. I said that he might be, and guess what? He's not. He's never hit that level. He's obviously, I'm sure he can be a really good player. And he would start anywhere in the country. But I don't think he's like a generational DB like I thought he once was.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, this could, and when it gets to the pros, because obviously it's going to happen.
Yeah, he'll be a first round.
Looking at it scheme wise, there could be different type of schemes that work because there's a lot of corners there's a lot of teams that like to run a lot of zone or a lot of press man in the NFL and stuff like that. They change it up. It's a copycat.
I think he's like a man. He's more of a man guy than a zone.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Like yeah. I believe Okudah was better than Stingley. I mean, I think it was close, but I still think Okudah was better overall. Okay. And switching over gears to Bama. I mean, look at the numbers of Bryce Young with 187 to 267, 2,453 yards, 26 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in 8 games this season. 9-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Golly, is all I can say to that. And then the running back Brian Robinson Jr., 142 carries for 706 yards and 11 touchdown runs. It just always seems like Alabama is a plug and play for running backs, no matter who you are or what your name is. They always,
They have dudes that just look like they play for Alabama at running back, like Brian Robinson, Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris. Those dudes are just huge. Josh Jake, those dudes are just all tanks.
It's an automatic 10+ touchdowns on the ground a year.
More than that.
At least.
Yeah, it's more
than
that.
Baseline right there.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns. But he has 11 touchdowns in 8 games.
Exactly. Like, he runs through people. I mean, this dude's like, he's not like crazy explosive or he's not going to like outrun you for 80 yards. But you give him a hole and a linebacker's one-on-one, he's probably winning that battle over most linebackers in the nation. And the ones that he wouldn't win it over play for his team. So, like,
there you go.
You know, I really like Brian Robinson's game, and I think that he's been a great piece for him. And they needed to give him the ball against A&M. They would have beat A&M for sure if they would have given the ball in the red zone. They were trying to throw the ball every single time, every down in the red zone. It was not working. A couple times it worked, but it wasn't working most of the time.
Mm-hmm. That was a track meet type of game right there.
It was.
And then looking down at the leading receiver, I think you know who this guy is, Brady, personally. I'll give you the floor. I'll give you the floor here.
Jamison Williams. He, obviously played for Ohio State for 2019 and 2020. I think he scored 3 career touchdowns. He was a good, 2019.
Doubled this year, 6.
Yeah. 2019, he was a backup. Like, he would come in at the end. He would provide a spark sometimes. Just the team liked him. And then he had obviously a bigger role in 2020. He became a starting receiver. Didn't get the ball very much. He had a catch here and there. He's nice and he's pretty reliable, very fast. If we hit him on a couple really big time deep balls, especially he had his best career play to this date against Clemson in the playoff. That's still his best career play. Obviously he could top that in big stages this year, but that right now he's still his best career plays in a Buckeye uniform. He was a nice deep threat for us, but he got lost in a crowded receiving room, and I'm pretty sure no one blamed him for leaving. Smart move. No one cared. Jackson Smith and Jibba was primed to be the starter this year. And Jamison, there was even thoughts that Jamison might not even be the 4th receiver on the team, which maybe he would have been. He would have got the ball. He would have got playing time, but he just wouldn't have, started this year. Because they wanted to move Garrett Wilson back to the outside where he was his freshman year, and you got to and Jackson Smith and Jibba is more of a slot guy than Jamison. Jamison's more of a burner on the outside. But the only time when Ohio State fans got a little irritated with him was when his dad started talking some crazy nonsense about his son is going to go before Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson in the 2021 NFL draft. And that, Ohio State can't produce receivers. That's why he's going to Bama. And they would not admit that it was because he got beat out, which I personally asked him. I said, did you leave because Njibba beat you out on a live video that he for some reason added me to? And he said, no, that's not why I transferred. So he claims that's not why he transferred, but I'm happy for him. It's nice to see your former player. He's never himself really talked too much trash about Ohio State, other than one time he said he's never coming back to Columbus in the live video I saw. But he's kept his mouth shut for the most part, and he was a little bit more classy than his dad in the interviews. So good for him. He's He might be the best wide receiver in the SEC this year, which really just shows more about Ohio State's receiving than anything. Because Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think, is at least second. He's over Olave in receiving yards this year. I'm pretty sure.
Double coverage and stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
wow.
I'm not saying he's better than Olave, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yep, that was good breakdown overall, and at least both of this worked out for. It looks like it's worked out pretty well for both sides. Yeah, it's worked out really well. Alabama's got a deep threat number one receiver, along with John Mechie as well, and then and then Ohio State's got their whole slew of receivers. So it's worked out pretty well, and we will keep an eye on that college football coverage throughout the entire weekend and everything as we roll into the pros. There's a game tonight, Jets-Colts. I don't want to speak on Cincinnati's daddy, Mike White, right now, so I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for my rants off camera, and we're gonna get to a Bengals game right here, the 1:00 game. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo on the call in Cincinnati, Battle of Ohio. It's Baker Burrow 3. This is a pretty big game, I will say, for both teams. Pretty big game for the league, honestly. First time the Battle of Ohio really is in prime television right here. I'm going to give the floor to a Browns fan, Jake, real quick. Actually, not real quick. Say what you need to say. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? What do you feel like is going to what do you feel going into this game for your Browns?
So me and you touched on it a little bit on Tuesday night.
We did.
But I think them controlling the OBJ situation right now is going to help out the team in the long run. I really do think that he just wasn't a fit for the Browns at all. I'm not saying there's people saying that like, oh, you think he's a terrible player. No, that's not true. I don't think he's terrible. There's other people saying he's a top 5 receiver in the league. I definitely don't believe that. Yeah, he just doesn't fit the. He doesn't fit the scheme. I mean, if you look at Cleveland's a run first game or like type of team, when you have a guy like Nick Chubb that can go out there and get you 5 yards every rush, like why would you need to throw it out? So I feel like our offense is gonna bring a better rhythm than they had last week. They're not gonna be trying to force feed and worrying about it pleasing people and just getting the job done and winning. So it's gonna help the team in the long run be like more like one like they were last year in their playoff run. They'll be like selfish, like definitely they have been this year, trying to like earn their way through the spotlight because they came out with like pretty high expectations, and now they're not playing as good as people thought they were. So now they have to try to win back. But I think it starts first in the locker room. You gotta believe in each other. I feel like they haven't believed in each other recently. So I'm excited for this week. If it's a loss, it kind of scares me for the end of the year because I don't know what to expect exactly. But I don't think it's the end of the season just by that loss. I think it is a winnable game for us by far. I think it is winnable. It'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it'll be a really good game. So, yeah, that's basically all I got to say about the Browns.
Yep. Brady, do you have any thoughts before I kind of go in on this?
Yeah, the Steelers beat the Browns last week.
Okay, no shit. No shit they beat them.
That's what I
Oh, my. Did you watch any of that game last week?
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch much. I was actually watching the Bears a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Okay, Justin Fields. Okay,
I was watching Justin Fields against Nick Bosa. I really was intrigued. They went right at it. Bosa sacked him, and then Fields like evaded everybody and scored like an insane touchdown.
I did see that play.
Fields looked awesome that game. He was hitting everything.
Now, what did you like that you saw Pittsburgh do against Cleveland though, and what you watched?
I really didn't like anything. Like it was so ugly in the game. Like I mean, defensively we played good. Like Najee Harris is a good player overall too. I had the screen. I had it over here. Like I have 2 TVs.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So like I had both, but on the bigger TV in Chicago. But I would look over all the time at the Steelers game too. So I mean, I think Najee played good. I think our defense was nice, bottling up. I think we did a good job on like the Browns' weapons for the most part, like Odell and them. Didn't Odell's dad post a video of every time he's been like wide open?
Yeah,
nice 11-minute clip.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he was complaining. That was kind of funny, but
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I necessarily liked anything I saw. I don't think that the offense is that good. I mean, Deontay Johnson, he's fast once he gets the ball, but good team win. That's all I'm going to say.
When it comes to Pittsburgh and Chicago, you're going to see your wish on
I know.
Monday night. How do you feel? Real quick?
I don't know. It's going to be so weird. I don't know yet what I want to happen, like, because Justin Fields, he's my favorite. He's my favorite player of all time, athlete of all time. Just because, like, he's my favorite Ohio State quarterback of all time.
I feel it.
So, and I don't like seeing him lose, but I also am a Steelers fan, and I don't like seeing the Steelers lose either. So it'll really be a game time decision on what I want to happen. I kind of want Justin Fields to play really good, but the Steelers to win, if that makes any sense.
I feel it. Yep. Mm-hmm. I've been in a situation before when it comes to NBA games, stuff like that.
Right.
That's something else. I've had time to collect my thoughts together. I've had time to kind of get over that Jets loss. Although Mike White threw for 400 yards and stuff just did not go well in New York for Cincinnati. I look at this game. This in my opinion, and I think I'm speaking for most Bengals fans, this feels like a must-win game. Is it over if we lose? No, it's not. We'd be 5-4. But to stay ahead and show that we can bounce back from a loss that we were favored in, come back and bounce back. This is big. This is a huge game. This is a divisional game. The stakes are so high in this game that with a win, we'd be 6-3 and 3-0 in the division going into the bye. That is huge. We beat both our division opponents by 2 plus scores. So, we need to get back on track. How does Cincinnati get back on track against Cleveland? Well, obviously Cleveland is a run-first team, as Jake mentioned. Nick Chubb, and they're not going to have Kareem Hunt, but they have Dearness Johnson. So they're still going to run the football well. And Cleveland's also a very good screen passing team. They like to involve running back screens, like quick hitters to Jarvis and all that. But obviously when they pass the ball, they do a lot of play action because their run, the run game is the dictator right there. So people are going to suck in, they're going to roll out, and Baker's going to have a lot of space to make one-on-one throws and, see his first weapon and all, his first target, his first choice. Sorry, I was getting a couple words confused there. But yeah, when it comes to that, I think Cincinnati looking at how they're going to play Baker Mayfield, how they should play Baker Mayfield, that rush 4 drop 7 type of stuff that we played against Mike White, the Browns have already picked up on that when it comes to the passing game. I don't think it's going to be really the same type of deal since Baker runs a lot of play action, but Cincinnati's got to be running 4 and 5. They got to be rushing 4 or 5. And I mean, any good NFL quarterback's going to be able to step up in the pocket and make a throw. Like that's when the pressure from the outside is allowed. That's what I'm saying. That's when the pressure from the outside allows a quarterback to step up into the pocket. If you're sending pressure up the middle, it's going to make him go one way or another, and that's going to make a decision, a split-second decision. He's got to bounce one way or another. And Baker Mayfield's injured. He has a couple of injuries up here in his left shoulder. So keep that in mind. It's got to be. I think it's got to be consistent pressure. I'm not saying send the house 5 or 6 every single play. This is an NFL offense, and people are going to start picking up on things. But Cincinnati's got to send some consistent pressure. I think we can run man against the Browns a good amount. I mean, there's going to be some times where we have to drop zone, go cover 2 look and all that, which is going to allow the tight end to run across the middle. Von Bell is really going to have, Von Bell, guys up front in the linebacker position. Logan Wilson's going to have to really cover the middle of the field well if they go cover 2 and all that, which I think he can. But he has been off the last couple of games on the defensive side of the ball. We missed a lot of tackles in space week 8, which was normally not a problem this year. Cincinnati's done a pretty good job of tackling open guys in space. Like guys like Chido Awuzie and Logan Wilson have done a very good job of doing that this season. Trying to get back into that, get back into that method and trying to get back in that formula. On offense, Last week, I thought Joe Burrow played a good game. He threw 3 touchdowns, but he threw that 1 interception. That was a batted ball. We talked about that on Tuesday. This is a game where I think we gotta just let Joe Burrow deal. Like, we got to protect him, obviously. Myles Garrett is a scary dude. He's going to be on the opposite side of Joe Burrow. I don't know where he's going to be lining up against Jonah Williams or Riley Reef, but, whoever it is has got to play like the game of his life.
I kind of hope he
lines up blocking.
I kind of hope he lines up against Jonah Williams.
I understand why he wouldn't line up against Jonah
Williams. I feel like Jonah Williams is a good tackle. I feel like Myles.
Yes, that's true. Jonah, Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles Garrett coming off the right side has done a pretty good job, like, overall against Joe Burrow. But on the left, Jonah Williams has seemed to hold his own. But this is, obviously it's a new year, so anything can happen. Cincinnati, I mean, we got to take some shots early and often. Like, the offense has always opened up lethargic this season. We got to get things going and rolling as we get into the bye.
Yeah, I feel like their deep balls always come late. Like, always
we're a second half team. It always comes like in that 2-minute drill and stuff like that. And we're playing with a sense of urgency. That's the thing. Cincinnati's offense has got to play with a sense of urgency this entire game until we really don't need it, until we, you know what I mean? But we got to play with a sense of urgency this entire time if we want to try to win this game. And like Jake said, this is a winnable game for the Browns. I think this is a winnable game for Cincinnati. This is going to be a good matchup. This is a great matchup, actually. Will it be a great game? I think it will be. But obviously I can't speak on so many things because, so many things, weird things have happened lately. So I'm not going to really speak on that, but this has the potential to be a very, very good game and classic Battle of Ohio matchup between these two teams. A lot of teams have tried to take away the middle of the field this year for Joe Burrow because he was really hitting really well. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, when they ran a lot of zone concepts and all, and that's forcing Joe Burrow to make some throws to the sideline and outside and try to hit deep, and then also deep middle as well. So they've taken away that middle pretty well, and they've sent some consistent pressure at him. But Joe Burrow has, I believe, the highest passer rating in the NFL under the blitz and pressure. So that's a good stat to have right there. But obviously you kind of want to, as offensive line, want to kind of limit that pressure. Joe Mixon, going to have to be big out of the backfield. I'm not going to say he has to run for 150 yards for us to win this game. It will help, but honestly just needs to do his job. If he, chunks it out, 4 yards a carry, the play calling method and all that, not trying to, just some of the play calls that sometimes have been really, really bad. Just need to kind of change that up and just script that up a little better. And I don't know if Cincinnati's doing this, but scripted plays, like script your first 10 or 15 plays. Well, we normally don't get through our first 10 or 15 scripted plays because we're normally only a 4 or 5 play drive. So that kind of sucks when it comes to that. But overall, I think this will be a good game and will be a good test for both of these teams. Do you guys have any score predictions for this game?
I got one.
All right.
24-20 Browns. I think they bounce back from I feel like they have a good game. I think the Bengals get them the second time, but I think the Browns get this first one.
Yeah, I think the Browns are going to win like 27-20, 27-23, 27-24, around that range.
All right. I'm going to go on ahead and say 31-24 Cincinnati. I think Burrow's going to have a nice day. I think the Browns defense is going to try to get after him early and all. Nick Chubb will have a pretty good day on the ground, but I think Cincinnati will prevail when it comes to the end. 31-24, good overall game. I think I think all these picks are fair. So, we'll see what happens on Sunday when it comes to that. Let's see. Going down to the next real premier game that we're looking at. Packers Chiefs. I mean, there's no Aaron Rodgers in this game.
That's kind of disappointing.
We've taught, yes, that's very disappointing because the first time that the Packers and Chiefs played, when both Rodgers and Mahomes were in the league at the same time, Patrick Mahomes was hurt because Andy Reid's dumb butt decided to run a QB sneak for Patrick Mahomes, who had a knee injury and dislocated his kneecap. And then the next week they played each other. This obviously, I wouldn't say this was very preventable, not preventable. Aaron Rodgers gets COVID. He's not playing on Sunday. Aaron Rodgers has been able to win a lot of games without a lot of important pieces, including last week when they defeated the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Now the Packers have all those pieces back, but they don't have Aaron Rodgers. What the hell's going to happen Sunday?
I honestly have a weird feeling that Jordan Love's going to perform really good and just beat the Chiefs by 10 points, honestly. I have a weird feeling about it.
It's a hot take right there. You want to make it a hot take?
What's that?
You want to make it a hot take?
Yeah, make it a hot take.
All right. So
What's your hot take again, Brady?
I said that Jordan Love's going to have a really big game, probably throw for like 3 touchdowns and defeat the Chiefs by 10 points.
I see. I would go with that, but is what's his name? Devontae Adams going to be back?
I believe he will be back.
I think he will. Yeah, that definitely played into my
that Thursday game really helped though.
Yeah.
I still think the Packers will win, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be really close.
Right. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Chiefs still have so much potential to be really good, obviously, because literally it's not like their roster changed really that much from their Super Bowl winning team. So they have this potential. When I predict that, I'm not trying to say they're terrible, but yeah, I just think Jordan Love's gonna have a really good game for some reason. I think he's not bad. I don't think he'll be bad.
The way I break this down, fantasy players, obviously, I think Aaron Jones is your best bet this week overall. Obviously, Devontae Adams being on the field is going to be huge, but the way the Packers are going to do this thing, they're going to run the ball consistently, but they're going to take shots. I think they're going to take some shots with Jordan Love. I think that he has a big arm. They drafted him for a reason, so I think they're going to go on ahead, and they're not going to be conservative or be afraid with this. I think they feel confident that he's ready to play. Aaron Rodgers. Before the season, Lord knows what was going to happen, if he was going to come back or not. But, and they were getting Jordan Love ready and prepared like he was going to be the starter until Aaron Rodgers came back to camp. So I feel like Jordan Love is ready for this game. However, we have seen the Chiefs not do it like this before. Obviously, we haven't seen them start out 1-2. We haven't seen them start off 2-3 or 3-4 and all that. So we haven't seen them do be really inconsistent like that. Like when they've been hot, cold, at least they were winning games and all going into that. I remember a certain point in the season in 2019 when they were 6-4, better record that, obviously at that point they were 6-4 playing. They were 6-3 playing the Titans, lost to them, went 6-4, and it was a mid-November game. And after that game, they did not look back and they won a Super Bowl. Is that going to happen? If it's going to happen on Sunday, no. Obviously, you can't win a Super Bowl in November, and it's hard to tell from that. But this Chiefs team looks totally different. They don't look the same. They just the Chiefs are playing so lethargic, and they're playing with a weird sense. They're playing with a sense of urgency sometimes, but at really weird times. So I'm really not liking what they're doing. Patrick Mahomes, 2,368 yards, 19 touchdowns to 10 picks this year. And, a couple of those have been off batted balls, and some guys just aren't able to catch really well. Some of them have bricks for hands. And, but a couple of them, it's just been some, god-awful throws. It seems as though he has a little too much time and he's just pump faking, and then he's and then he just kind of lets it go, very trigger happy is what Patrick Mahomes is. They don't have much of a ground game, if any. Tyreek Hill, he still is he can still he's become more of a consistent target, but there's still games where he'll go for 7 catches, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then there'll be games where he goes for 2 catches for 20 yards. So he still does that every now and then, but he's been a very good receiver this year. Him and Devontae Adams almost have similar numbers, it looks like. even though Adams missed the game. How I feel about it, I think the Packers are going to win this. I agree with more of Jake, like how it's going to be a closer game. I think it'll be a 3-point game, and I think Aaron Jones is going to run for 125.
I could see that.
125 and a score. I think Jordan Love's going to play a solid game. I think he'll throw for about 220 in the score. I think he'll run for one as well. I think he's going to throw for 220 in a score and run for a score as well. That's how I feel about this Packers-Chiefs game. And, we already talked about your guys' thoughts there. And then we're going to do picks, like quick picks through all these other games real quick, but it's going to take just about a minute or so. But the last game I kind of want to highlight is Titans-Rams. Life without Derrick Henry is beginning. And who knows how it's going to go.
Blowout.
I know which way we believe the blowout's going to go. You want to elaborate a little bit more? I mean, there might not be much to elaborate on, but
what I've always noticed since like last year when the Browns played Titans, if they can get their run game started early and score early, when they get behind, it's game over. Especially with the pivotal defense you're going to see with the Rams this week, I don't think they have a chance.
I agree. I mean, I don't know what the whole even without Von Miller in this situation, even if they didn't have Von Miller, it's still the exact same formula. Obviously, you have Aaron Donald up front, and then you don't have Derrick Henry in the back, and then Jalen Ramsey is he's shadowing AJ Brown and all that, and this at first before Derrick Henry got hurt, I was like this could be a game. This could be a literal track meet. But I mean, if I'm a Titans fan for this game, I still think they're going to win the division. All right, for the Titans, they're going to win the division. I don't think they have a problem with that. But for this game, I'm fearing for your life, and I am living under a rock for the next 5 days.
Yeah,
because they're probably going to get housed. I will say. Brady, you have any thoughts on this game? On what do you think is going to happen?
Rams are going to win. I mean, losing Derrick Henry is the Titans. I mean, come on. When you think of the Titans, who's the first person that pops right into your head?
King Henry. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. He might be the most other than maybe when you think of the Chiefs, you obviously think of Mahomes, but I feel like the Derrick Henry is the face of the program, the absolute face of the program, and normally a running back can't make that type of impact, but in this situation they can, and that's why he's definitely the best running back in the NFL. I mean, if he can get going, the Titans are going to win. But the only way you beat the Titans is to slow down King Henry. And now that they've already slowed down King Henry before the game has even started with the Rams defense, and Tannehill normally doesn't play that good without Henry's presence with the play-action game. No offense to him, but I think the Rams win it. And I don't think it's going to be down to the wire either. I think it'll be, not too sweaty of a game for him.
I feel it. And I look at Derrick Henry's stats. The man literally has a full season stats in 8 games: 219 carries, 937 yards, and 10 touchdown runs.
Yeah, that's easily a full season.
That's scary. That is super scary right there. That's averaging nearly 5 yards a carry for that big man who can run real fast.
Yeah, and he's getting the ball too.
And they run him up the gut. They run him outside. They pitch it to him. They even throw him. They even let him throw the ball.
They do let him throw.
I mean, that's
a touchdown.
Yeah, I know. Even just having a guy like that guy literally does everything. That's and then Ryan Tannehill last year had a very good season. I believe he had close to a 4-1 or 5-1 touchdown to interception ratio for the season. But Ryan Tannehill has played nowhere near that at all. 10 touchdowns to 7 picks, 2,002 yards in 8 games played this season, and that's with Derrick Henry. Without, oh boy, I don't even know. Actually, I can take a look here. The starting running back. I mean, you look. I think they're gonna get a lot of Jeremy McNichols on Sunday night. Obviously, they signed Adrian Peterson. That is true. They're going to get him some touches, but Jeremy McNichols is going to be the guy that's going to get looks on Sunday night. Obviously, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Sorry, Dearness Johnson stepped up when the Browns needed him. Okay, I will say that. Do I think Jeremy McNichols is going to step up? I don't know. He might have a good game, but he's going to have that Derrick Henry impact. Hell no, he's not going to. That's obvious. All right. But yeah, I think when it comes to the Titans, they're gonna have to hope and pray that Ryan Tannehill is able to hit spots, that the Rams play some zone, and that McNichols turns out to be half what Derrick Henry is. And that's the only chance they really have, because Matt Stafford is in LA and he's loving it with 22 touchdowns to 4 picks, 2,477 yards, and literally Pro Football Focus is like a love child. And Cooper Kupp, my God, 63 for 924 and 10 touchdowns in 8 games. Wow.
Insane.
Does anyone have Cooper Kupp on their fantasy in here?
No.
Oh, I have him in one league. I forgot about that. Thank the Lord for that one. I think that's in Travis's league. But yeah, but Cooper Kupp has been a fantasy gem this year. I mean, you think about it. He's literally averaging 8 points a game off catches. And he's averaging, I'm breaking it down like the numbers like this: 8 points a game off catches, 11 points a game off yards, and 6 points a game off touchdown. Well, yeah, 6 points a game off touchdowns. So that's 25 points a game he's averaging.
That's crazy. That's really
that
cool.
is unbelievable. That's unbelievable to look at right there. But yeah, I got the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win this game by about 17 points. I'm going to go with a score of maybe 30. I'll take 30. 33 to 33-14, 19 points. 33-14. Yep. We're going to do a quick run through of the rest of these games. I'm just going to ask for picks. Game about to start right here. Jets Colts. Who you guys got?
Colts.
Actually, no. I'm going to go Jets.
You're riding the Mike White train?
I'm riding the train.
All right. Well, if Mike White wins, I have to probably bow down to him. So we'll talk about that later. Broncos Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Not hard. Broncos are frauds. Texans Dolphins. 1-7 matchups in the Deshaun Watson trade potential fiasco.
I think the Texans win.
Jake?
Repite, por favor.
Texans Dolphins.
I'm gonna go Texans. I'm gonna go with Brady on that.
I'll be the lone wolf. I'll take Dolphins. I think Tua's played good football, honestly, the last couple of weeks. I think he'll have another good game.
He sucks.
Fraud.
Yeah. But I think he'll have a good game against 1-7 team. Falcons Saints.
Saints.
Saints. I was gonna say, because I think Trevor Siemian's gonna be a quarterback this week. He's a pro quarterback. He can do what they need to do to win. The defense is gonna be the reason they win. But I will say, don't necessarily sleep on the Falcons though, because the NFC with that 7 seed is wide open. But I'll take the Saints on this one. Raiders Giants.
Raiders.
Okay.
They do it for Ruggs.
I'm gonna go Giants.
I don't know if I'd say do it for Ruggs in this situation, but yeah. You know what? I'm going to agree with you, Jake, because
we don't support Henry Ruggs.
That's a big locker room.
Very much
problem right there.
I'm going to tell you this right here. I agree with you, Jake, because there's always that one game when the Raiders are playing well, and I think this is the week where this is a hot take for me. I think the Raiders are going to get blown out by 3 scores. I think the Giants are going to kick their fucking ass. I think they're going to kick their ass this week.
Oh.
You could go back here and look like I'm dead wrong, all right? I might be. But I just have that.
You might not be. I can see it.
Like there's always that one game every year where the Raiders just go out and literally take an ass beating. I think this is going to be the game. Because I don't know. I mean, they did it against the Jets a couple years ago in 2019. Now they'll go back to the Meadowlands this week, and they'll get their ass whipped by a battle. And Danny Dimes is going to throw all over the place. But yes, I feel like the Giants are going to win this game. Patriots Panthers Cam Newton Bowl, even though Cam Newton has nowhere to be found.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Mac attack.
Yeah, Pats.
I'll go with the Pats. They'll be on a roll. They beat the Jets. Obviously, they won last week against the Chargers. They'll come back to the East Coast, and I think they'll get the win as well. This is weird. 2-4-4 teams, and the Patriots are like one of the most mysterious teams out there. They always are, but this year they definitely play that role. So, I think we got a clean sweep with the Patriots. This will be another clean sweep. Bills, Jags.
Bills.
Yeah.
Bills.
Bills by 17. Sneaky good game this week, I will say. If things get up and going for Minnesota, the Vikings play in Baltimore. Baltimore's coming off a bye. Minnesota's coming off the tough loss that they basically should have beat the Cowboys. But how do we feel about this one?
Vikings.
Baltimore.
All right. I'll take the Ravens, but I do think this game will be a shootout. I think this could be a shootout game right here. I think that both teams could get going, and if Kirk Cousins finds the groove, this is going to be a very, very fun game to watch at the 1:00 window on Fox. As we transfer to the 4:00, Chargers Eagles from Philly.
LA.
I'm going with the Eagles in Philly.
All right. So, I mean, and that's the thing. The Eagles seem as though that they play up to the competition level, it looks like, all the time. Like, they've done it in the past, and that's kind of the reason why they're able to make the playoffs at the last second, 2018 and 2019. Obviously, this is November. I think the Chargers get back on track, but I do think it'll be an odd game. I think it'll be like I don't think it's going to be – I think it'll be like a one-score game. I think it'll be like an 8-point game, but it's going to be like it's going to be kind of like Chargers score and the Eagles score. It's going to be like the Eagles trying to catch up the entire game, but it's still going to be a good game, I think. And I've been wrong about my picks lately, so that's just how it is. Cardinals-Niners from Santa Clara.
Cardinals.
Cardinals as long as Kyler Murray plays.
Yeah, I'll go with the Cardinals here, but I think the Niners could give them a scare.
Yeah,
sure.
That's legit. They definitely could. The pass rush for the Niners got to get going and stuff like that. If Jimmy G's able to find himself in a group, can we talk about Deebo Samuel real quick? He has had a fantastic season. He's had a great season.
I feel like people were expecting Ayuk to be the guy over Samuel before the season.
Exactly. They were talking about, first round pick and all that stuff. And Deebo Samuel has really shut that down. And Samuel, like, even in the season that they went to the Super Bowl, he somewhat played the role kind of as a running back in a way. Like, they would run a lot of jet sweeps for him and everything. They run him in a short game, but he's done it all this season. So,
I feel like he's established himself in that fourth guy of the 2019 wide receiver draft class behind Terry, DK, AJ. Like that
I believe he came from South Carolina, right?
He did.
Okay.
He destroyed Clemson.
Okay.
I remember watching him. He'd get those deep balls from Jake Bentley. Jake Bentley was their quarterback.
I would not have known that at all. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to give a quick shout out right there, Deebo Samuel. Great season, and thank you for my mind to actually be working correctly to pick him in fantasy football this year. Monday night cap right here. Bears Steelers. Thoughts?
Those are my two teams. Just gonna say, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Steelers.
I so hope the Bears beat them. I really do.
I kind of do too.
I understand. I understand where you're coming.
I kind of hope both of them win. It's like a lose-lose and a win-win situation.
Well, they can tie like kissing your sister.
Dude, that would be so bad. I'd be really mad about that, actually. I don't want that to happen.
Well, one thing's got to happen. Well,
one thing's got to happen. One team's got to win. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll be happy. But I'll also be sad.
All right. So let me think. Bears, Steelers. Steelers at night in Pittsburgh. I hope the Steelers. 6-point game. I hope the Bears win, though. I really do.
Dude, actually, Justin Fields might get sacked like 15 times. against the Steelers because they're his O-line. I'm not going to say the things I could say about his O-line. It is disgusting.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that off camera. We could do this on the unscripted version of Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, which it's not going to air anywhere else. But yeah, that's our NFL rundown for the week. Honestly, do you guys want to touch on your this was a pretty serious situation that happened on I believe that what was that Monday or Tuesday night? Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. With the Henry Ruggs situation. Do you guys want to touch a little bit on that? Just thoughts about that whole situation, and I'll let you guys have the floor.
I guess I could start. Terrible situation, but I think it just proves the fact that drinking and driving is just a terrible thing in general. Stuff like that should never happen. And it's sad to see. It's sad, and I feel extremely sorry for the family that it affected. But at the same time, you gotta feel kind of bad for Henry Ruggs at the same time because he just got started with his career, and he's probably gonna go to prison. He'll probably never see another step on another NFL football field probably the rest of his life. So at the same time, it is his fault. I mean, he's the one that went out and did it. He could have gotten a Uber. He definitely has the money. He could have gotten an Uber. But, yeah, it's just kind of a tragic story in general.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything he said. Stupid decision. And it was his fault. I mean, you shouldn't do that. 156 miles per hour. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what could be going through your mind when you're an NFL football player. He had everything going for him in life, and he did that. And I'm going to say something. His whole, backstory is based on him and his friend were going to go to, a football game when they were younger. And he ended up not being able to go. And his friend got in a car accident and died. And that was an ESPN 30 for 30 almost or something like that. And it was played before every Alabama game. And then something like this happens where Henry Ruggs is on the side because somebody else killed his friend going too fast and drinking while driving. And then Henry Ruggs does this and kills somebody, which is crazy. I feel bad for at the same time, obviously. His whole life's over, but it was his fault.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with both of you guys and well said. Just a tragic situation. I really do feel for the family of of the lady. Just super duper unfortunate and everything. Really feel for that. And obviously in a way feel for Henry Ruggs since he had he basically had it set. He was set for his entire life. That's just putting things for football aside and everything. The NFL has a system where I believe they installed something where if you have an issue with drinking, if you're out drinking and driving, they will come get your car and they will pick you up and they will take you home and they will have no issues about it. It's in every NFL city and everything. And the fact that was not going, through the mind before that night, obviously through the mind while you're drinking, obviously that's not the first thing you think of, but I would assume that's not the first thing you think of, but that's just unfortunate. And that is, that's completely on them. That's just, I don't have a whole much more to say. You guys summed it up pretty well and everything, but yeah, just the moral of the story, don't drink and drive. Don't do that. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't do anything that'll put yourself and others in danger. That's just nothing good's going to come. That the text can wait. The alcohol, let it just take time or just ask for a ride. Just all of that, that can save a life, and that can save your life. That can save anyone's life, So, I definitely feel like we should have touched on the situation and feel better talking about this. But with that being said, this is the end of the Cut the Chase Sports Podcast, episode 6. For Brady and Jake, thanks for coming on tonight. I believe we'll try to do this again on Tuesday. And we will see you guys then. This is Chase Yachts saying a good night. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.